Really not my bailiwick. I'm more of a vitamin mineral kind of person and a mind person, not a food person. Coconut oil has all kinds of wonderful claims. I don't know the truth of them, and I'm an insecure healer or an insecure facilitator. I'll use that terminology because the body does the healing. I don't do anything. So, and because I don't have any practical experience with them, these are things that came out after I was done doing my nutritional counseling days. So I really don't know. We at home, we're strictly olive oil people.
One other thing, if you're on like a lot of medications for like pain or whatever, the things we talked about for cleansing, is there anything you would do differently or add?
Yeah, there are things I would do differently. Number one, I would try to understand the nature of the pain. There's a couple of natural alternatives for pain, so that you can get off of the pain relievers. Because the beautiful thing about pain relievers, especially if you have arthritis, is that we can start planning for your joint replacements. That's the nice thing, because we know if you don't have no pain, if you're not feeling any pain, you're going to continue to do all the things that you should be doing, and you're going to wear away the joint faster, and we're going to be able to replace it. That said, take a look at DLPA, and they have them here. DLPA, which is a left-handed molecule of phenylalanine, is a great pain reliever. Increase your B1, it'll increase your body's threshold to pain. And take a look at white willow bark. White willow bark is the original aspirin. And they still don't know how the salicylic acid works, which is kind of cool. So those are things that I would do. At the same time that I was introducing those elements into my system, I would begin to diminish the amount of drugs that I took. And here's a method and technique for getting off of meds. Let us say conversationally that you're doing a 10 milligram tablet every day, twice a day, okay? So take some of your 10 milligrams and cut them in half to be fivers. So one day you're doing 10, next day 5, 10, 5, 10, 5 for 10 days. The next 10 days do all straight fivers. Then take some of your fivers and cut them in half to 2.5. So you're going to do a 5, a 2.5, 5, 2.5. Then for 10 days, and then another 10 days of straight 2.5s. And then when you're down to that, then every other day at 2.5, then every third day at 2.5, and every fourth day, because you can never stop a drug. You can never cold turkey. Let me rephrase that. Maybe you can. You shouldn't ever stop a drug cold. Okay? But if you allow your body, see, part of the catch-22 with drugs, and there's some products in our industry that I also have issues with. I didn't tell you guys I'm a guy with issues, did I? No, okay. But I am. I'm a guy with issues. And I heard that, Jason. Whenever you do the deal with drugs and the deal with some things in the health food industry is they are designed to alleviate symptoms. That's not what you want. You want to alleviate the problem. You want to get down to the nitty-gritty. You want to understand, you want to get to the root cause, you want to understand what the problem is, and you want to address it from that point of view. And so that's why you want to get off of your drugs, and you really want to nourish your body, and your body will acclimate once you start bringing in more supplements. And the reason I keep going back to supplements because, and I don't care how good the diet is, you could be eating organic everything. You could be drinking distilled water, no dairy, whole grains. You're still, well, let me ask the question. Does anybody know if you had a perfect diet, what are the most amount of nutrients, what percentage you would be able to assimilate? It's really fascinating because it's in keeping with the good book. 70% is all that you would be able to assimilate. And that's assuming you're in wonderful shape and the food is as good as you think it is. Ergo, you need supplementation. So as your body is doing that and you diminish the other, the body will right itself. Yes, sir.
What supplements would you recommend for adult female hair loss? From the head?
Yeah, no, I got it. I wasn't quite sure where I wanted to go with that at first. You want to take a look at, first and foremost, you really want to try to understand what the cause of the hair loss is. Because it could be stress, it could be thyroids, it could be allergies. Okay, because if the body, that's what alopecia is, if the body decides that the hair follicle is an alien invader, it's going to attack it. More often than not, it's going to be stress. And I would look at minerals first and foremost, and as far as hair, you want to look at biotin, folic acid. Again, you want to choline and inositol because you want to bring more blood to the blood up to the scalp. So I would look at things along those
Tin
lines.
deficiency causes baldness too.
Pardon?
Tin.
Tin?
Metals, tin.
Really?
Tin deficiency.
In animals and some lots.
Huh, I've never heard of such a thing. I don't
Well, I
know.
use salicylic acid as a rooting hormone too. I guess you didn't know that.
No, I didn't, no.
But it works.
A root for,
Yeah, it's cheaper than going and buying rooting hormones.
okay.
Yes, hormone money cannot buy.
Really?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Wonderful, yeah, there's so much in
Yeah,
husbandry.
but
animal-
tin deficiency will cause early baldness.
Huh. I wonder how much tin is in the human body. Well,
We're talking about just needing just a tiny bit.
yeah.
But there's 60 minerals the body needs every day.
Which is why, and people don't buy enough minerals. People don't do enough minerals. If you have any one of the symptoms that I mentioned earlier, the leg aches, any of that, you need minerals. If you do them at night, you'll be better off. And I will look
Back when I got sick with heavy metal poisoning from wherever, whatever, one of the things that happened to me was I lost a myelin sheath around my nerves. And the neurologist told me that I'd never grow it back. I'd be in that shape. But 400 milligrams of B6 a day has about healed me totally up.
what else you should. That's really interesting, because
But
when I,
B12 helps you want some B complex along with it, but 400 milligrams
of
of
B6. Well, B6 is wonderful for the nerves. In fact, although with B6 you should never go over 500 for any length of time or you'll create damage.
I'm just bumping well about 420.
Throw some inositol into that, because inositol is specific for the myelin sheath. In fact, there's a disease out there. Any of you ever hear of a disease called Morgellons?
Yes.
Oh, you guys know about Morgellons. Okay.
I have master's biology.
Oh. Okay. Well, what's interesting with Morgellons is just beginning. I don't know if this is something that's been in animals or not, but it's beginning to show up in humans. And what, for those of you who don't know it, and to make sure we're all on the same page, for those of you who don't know it, it's the doctors call it delusional parasistosis. And why is it called delusional parasistosis? Because you feel that you have something crawling under your skin. Now, what's happening is that the skin develops little sores. And out of these sores, and I don't know about in animals, and I'm assuming that's what we're talking about from your end of it, but what's coming out of the skins are little colored threads: red, green, yellow, black. Not only that, they're also finding little fuzz balls in these black things. And what the creature looks like, it looks like a scabies underneath the skin. And so the reason I brought that up was because one of the things that these critters do is they eat the myelin sheath. So it's a scary kind of a thing.
That wasn't what happened to me, but anyway.
Yeah, and
You
it's
still have some of the same. It's like spark plug firing,
misfiring.
Or short. And
well, that's the beauty of minerals also, because they allow the electricity to flow. It's almost like, if your plug is gapped too far, you're not going to get spark. But if you gap it just right, the spark will flow. Well, minerals do that same thing, because you never think about walking, talking,